They never planned for Baldwin Village to become a battlefield. Los Angeles is a city built on borders, street names, school districts, gang lines. And in the southwest pocket of South Central, between La Brea and Crenshaw, lies a cluster of low-rise apartments surrounded by palm trees and quiet tension. It's called Baldwin Village, but to those who really know, it's the jungles. The Black Pea Stones trace their origins back to Chicago in the late 1950s, founded by a man named Jeff Fort. But it wasn't until the late 1960s that their presence took root in Los Angeles, when a young member named T. Rogers relocated to Baldwin Village and established what would be...
What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? We're Trapper Tapping in TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cook cracking the same here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge. You're not finna get nobody's college, big dog. Hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe button for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe for everything we got going on. Finna slide into this good content on the man. Shout out to Big Respect the Streets, man. I love that content. Big love, big shout out to Respect the Streets. I've been watching their content for a while now, and I'm just now being able to do a reaction. But it's not because I'm a first-time watcher. I'm just a first-time reactor. But Respect the Streets, one of the hottest platforms on YouTube when it comes to giving us LA advice, LA street politics, and all that kind of stuff. Big love, big shout out to Respect the Streets. If you ain't like, comment, subscribe to their page, I need you to do that. Finna jump into this content without no further do's or don'ts. Let's jump into it, man. They turned the jungles into a war zone. The 18th Streets versus the BPSs. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Become the Stones' most infamous West Coast chapter, the jungles. Baldwin Village got its nickname from its dense greenery, palm trees, and tropical plants that made the neighborhood look like an urban jungle. But over time, the name took on a darker meaning, one tied to crack, murder, and red rags. Their turf in near the west side of LA sits in by Exposition at its north, Jim Gilliam Park on the south, La Brea to the west, and Crenshaw to the east. A smaller offshoot, known as the Biddy, sits further north in the Arlington Heights area near Mid-City. 18th Street, on the other hand, is one of the largest and most deeply rooted Hispanic gangs in Los Angeles. Founded in the 1960s near 18th and Union, they've grown into an estimated 15,000 member powerhouse, with cliques scattered across the county and even internationally. But the four barrios that matter most sit just west of downtown LA.
Barrios. Barrio, nigga? The Vadio? That nigga said barrios. That's crazy.
Especially near West Adams. While 18th Street has plenty of enemies, one of their most violent and long-standing rivalries has been with the Bloods, and no feud has been more bloody than their war with the Black Pea Stones. The tension wasn't always explosive. At first, it was side eyes at the liquor store, bumped shoulders outside the apartments, or crossed out tags re-tagged again. These early gestures, small acts of disrespect, carried weight in gang culture. Each crossed out 18 or BPS was like a slap in the face, and both sides were keeping score. By 1998, things had turned physical. Fights broke out in alleys, gunshots echoed near the Dons, and several unsolved shootings were whispered about on both sides. The LAPD knew something was brewing, but couldn't pin down who started it. The Stones suspected 18th Street was pushing deeper into their turf. 18th Street accused Stones of wilding out beyond their block. Then came the gang injunctions, specifically designed to shut down movement in Baldwin Village. But it didn't work the way the city hoped. Instead of slowing things down, it made the territory even more valuable. Each gang knew if the city cared enough to draw a line around Baldwin Village, it must be worth fighting over. And fight they did.
Oh, for sure, for sure. The Baldwin Village neighborhood is a huge space and a huge territory that any community and any fraternity would be extremely blessed to represent and have a stronghold over.
The year 2004 marked the first clear, documented bloodshed in the conflict between 18th Street and the Black Pea Stones inside South Los Angeles. This was the year things officially turned deadly. On the night of January 31st, 2004, a group of 12 friends, ages ranging from their late teens to early 20s, pulled up to a house party near Arlington Avenue and Adams Boulevard, deep in Black Pea Stone territory. They arrived in 3 separate cars, parking along the north side of Adams Boulevard under the glow of dim streetlights. 2 women from the group, Anjanette and Carla, walked ahead to the party gate and asked a security guard if they could come in. The guard told them the group was welcome, but when the girls went back to tell their friends, they had no idea what they were walking back into. As the group started toward the pedestrian gate, a man known on the streets as Leon, a Black Pea Stone affiliate, stepped out of the shadows and confronted them. "Hey, what y'all doing over here?" he asked, hand already near his waistband. Before anyone could answer, Leon pulled a gun and threatened to open fire. "Y'all need to get up out of here," he barked, then turned to one of the men saying, "And you, why you looking at me like you trying to do something?" The group quickly backed away, insisting they didn't want trouble, but as they turned to leave, Leon wasn't done. He ran up on Miguel, pressed the gun into his body, and demanded, "What you got on you?" Miguel said he didn't have any money. Leon told him to take off his Boston Celtics jersey, then suddenly pivoted toward Jose's car and opened fire.
Man, ain't nobody in LA that much of a Celtics fan to be taking somebody Boston Celtics jersey. Now that's what you don't gotta do. Ain't nobody in LA that much of a Boston Celtics fan to go ahead and take that. Come on, my nigga. You ain't have to take that boy's Celtics jersey.
Witnesses later said they heard between 10 and 30 shots. When the gunfire stopped, Leon jumped into a silver Ford Explorer with another man later identified as Frank, and they sped away. The victims tried to flee in their cars, but as they drove several blocks, Jose began to fade from blood loss and pulled over. In the back seat, Jason, Jose's brother, was dead. In the front, his sister Shama had also been killed instantly. Another passenger, Walter, had been shot through the hand. Jose himself had been hit 6 times, multiple bullets to his legs, and one that shattered his jaw. Police recovered over 30 shell casings at the scene. Both Leon and Frank, members of the Black P Stones, were arrested, convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and shooting into an occupied vehicle. Each received 2 consecutive life sentences. It was the first major conviction tying the Stones to a double homicide tied to gang tension in Baldwin Village. And for the city, it was a brutal sign of what was coming. By the end of 2004, everyone in South LA knew Baldwin Village was no longer just the jungles. It was a war zone. On the afternoon of September 24th, 2006, Cesar Avila was sitting in his car with his wife and...
Yeah, now it's crazy that when it came into the war, with the jungles and the BPSs in the 18th streets, it turned into a racial thing, because at that point, when it comes to the aspect of, you know, a Mexican gang getting into it with a black gang, like I said, if ever a black gang member is not available, a black man will do. You feel me?
2 daughters. When Cesar stepped out of the car, a silver 4-door vehicle pulled up right beside him. A person in the front passenger seat shouted out, "Fuck 18." The passenger shouted out, "Black P Stones," then pulled out a gun and shot Cesar in the chest and the hand. The passenger then hopped out and fired a 3rd shot into the car, striking and killing Cesar's 3-year-old daughter, Jonathan Durrell. Banks, a member of BPS, was eventually convicted of the killing of Cesar's 3-year-old daughter. On March 19th, 2007, a young man named Carlos was simply trying to get home. As he entered his apartment complex, he was approached by 3 young men, all members of the Black P Stones. Leading the group was Kevin, accompanied by 2 associates. One of them stepped forward and asked Carlos, "Where you from?" followed by the more ominous, "You know where you at, right?" Carlos tried to stay calm. He pleaded with them, insisting he wasn't affiliated with any gang, but it didn't matter. The 3 P Stones were convinced Carlos was part of 18th Street. They surrounded him, checking his pockets for cash, taking his car keys, and then, without warning, started punching on him. Carlos broke free and ran, but as he took off, Kevin pulled out a handgun and opened fire, striking Carlos in the foot. The shooting happened right outside his own complex. Another example of how this war didn't just claim gang members, it endangered everyone. Later, Kevin from the Black P Stones pleaded no contest to second-degree robbery and admitted to firing the weapon during the attack. He was sentenced to 22 years in state prison. On September 20th, 2007, the war spilled directly into the heart of 18th Street territory. That evening, 2 men, Erwin and Mario, were driving a Ford Explorer down West Haven Street, a stretch known to be deep inside 18th Street's zone. As they approached Redondo Boulevard, 2 vehicles suddenly blocked the road ahead, cutting off any escape. Before they could react, 3 black males jumped out and opened fire. Erwin ducked his head and threw the Explorer in reverse, trying to escape the ambush. Bullets tore through the vehicle, 12 shots in total. As Erwin tried to maneuver away, 1 round grazed his forehead, and he slammed into multiple parked cars while backing up. Mario, seated beside him, was hit in the forearm and stomach. That same day, just hours earlier around noon, Victor Campos, an 18th Street member, was standing outside his apartment building on Hauser Boulevard and Carlin Street. A silver Impala rolled up, and the passenger shouted, "Fuck 18th Street," before opening fire. Victor was hit in the upper back near the shoulder, reportedly by either a 45 or a 22 caliber handgun. Then, just 5 days later, on the corner of West Haven and Redondo once again, this war zone lit up with gunfire around 1:46 p.m. Witnesses said a car carrying two black males crashed into another vehicle at the intersection. After the collision, they jumped out and started fighting.
Now it seems like they are turning this neighborhood into a war zone. You feel me? Automatic gunfire, people jumping out and all that kind of stuff and all that blah blah blah. It's like they're turning this neighborhood into World War III around this motherfucker. And it even got to a point where, you know, rumors said that the 18th Streets was chopping up bodies and putting them in the dumpsters in the J's. So, you know, it get tricky, bro. It get tricky. It turns into a whole lot for sure.
The driver of the second car, an 18th.
Can you imagine living in a community where the war is going so crazy that they snatching people up and chopping the bodies up and putting them in the dumpsters? Barnacles.
Street member returned fire. The back and forth that day left the block in chaos. James Fletcher and Jerry Burke, both confirmed Black P. Stones members, were later arrested and convicted for the series of shootings inside 18th Street's neighborhood. Prosecutors connected the three incidents as part of a calculated string of attacks targeting 18th Street soldiers directly in their stronghold. The message was loud. Nowhere was safe. It was the morning of New Year's Eve. Dwight, known on the streets as Pee-wee from the Rolling 20 Bloods, asked his girlfriend for a ride to the swap meet. He needed a long-sleeve shirt to help cover up his gang tattoos. He planned to be in a rival gang's territory later that day. He also had a borrowed gun in his pocket. His own house had been shot up just a month earlier. As Dwight entered the swap meet, his girlfriend walked to a nearby beauty supply store. At the same time, Danny, a known 18th Street member, and his cousin Melvin were pulling up to the same location. Danny had 666 tattooed across the back of his head, a clear representation.
Now, that's a representation for the 18th Street because 6 + 6 + 6. I get that it's a demonic type insinuation, and that's definitely not being strayed away from. They know it's that. They're playing on that. But it really comes from 6 + 6 is 12, plus 6 equals 18. 666 equals 18. 6 times 3 equals 18. That is the reasoning for it. Now, does it have a more sinister reason with the satanic and the devil worshiping and all that? Yes. If you've ever been locked up in the Los Angeles County jail system, you know that the 18th Streets are open and proud devil worshipers. You know this. They are open. They are proud, satanic, you know, whatever, blah, blah. They be having the horns tattooed on their head. They're proud demons. They're proud, you know, believers and supporters of Satan and all that kind of stuff. That's their religion. That's their business. But yeah.
Of his gang ties. As they approached the entrance, Dwight came around the corner and locked eyes with them. "Hey, hold up. Where y'all from?" he called out. Danny answered, "I'm from 18th Street. Dwight fired back, literally, "Oh yeah? F-18, then immediately pulled out his gun and started shooting. Danny took off running toward the swap meet, and Dwight let off 2 shots. Melvin was hit twice in the leg and ducked behind a concrete planter for cover, but Dwight wasn't done. He kept shooting at Melvin, firing between 9 to 10 rounds in total before fleeing the scene with his girlfriend. Danny ran back to Melvin, who was bleeding on the ground. He tried to help get his cousin into the car to drive him to the hospital, but because Danny was on parole, he panicked when he heard sirens and left the scene. Later, both cousins identified Dwight and his girlfriend,
Damn, bro, panic left his cousin leaking on the scene. That's ugly work.
Elena. Dwight from Rolling 20s was convicted of attempted murder and attempted voluntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 22 years plus 25 years to life. Jamil Shaw II, known as Jazz, was a rising star in Los Angeles. A standout running back at LA High School, Jazz was a 3-time MVP with a 4.2 GPA and scholarship offers from Stanford and Rutgers. On March 2nd, 2008, he had just finished a 10-week college football training program in Pasadena and stopped by the Beverly Center with friends before heading home. Jazz's father, Jamil Sr., told him to be home by 7. At 7:01 p.m., he called Jazz, who said, "We caught the wrong bus, but I'm safe. Be there in a minute." That same night, Pedro Espinosa, a recently released 18th Street gang member, was driving through the neighborhood with 2 associates. They spot.
It sucks because the dad is gonna always say, we can see where this is finna go. The boy finna lose his life. The dad is gonna say, man, I told that boy to be home by 8 o'clock. If he would have just listened to me and did what I said, my son would still be alive.
The Jazz walking with a red Spider-Man backpack. They didn't know Jazz. They didn't care. They just saw a young black male in red. Pedro stopped at a friend's house nearby, but the friend...
I will say this. The way Spider-Man shoots the web is the same, like, you know, that hand sign where the pinky and the index and the thumb is out and the middle and the ring finger are down. The Spider-Man web signal is, hand sign is actually the same sign of how you throw up BPS. So it's questionable if he didn't have, especially living in that community, BPS affiliations, as a lot of kids do wear the Spider-Man backpack or Spider-Man apparel as a way to kind of cleverly disguise the fact that they are in fact gang affiliated or, you know, using something that is throwing up a gang sign. You feel me? So that is actually a thing. I know that's people who aren't from California, who ain't from LA might think that is crazy, but, you know, that web sign, our web signal that Spider-Man used to shoot the web is actually how you throw up BPS. So it's tricky on that one when it comes to affiliations.
It wasn't home. As Pedro walked back toward his car, he spotted Jazz again, now just 3 houses away from home. Jazz was on the phone with his girlfriend Cristal when Pedro approached him and asked,
Cristal is a ghetto name. Cristal? Not crystal, Cristal, like the wine. It's wild.
"Where are you from?" Jazz didn't answer fast enough. Pedro pulled out his gun and fired. The first bullet hit Jazz in the stomach. As Jazz fell to the ground with his hands up, Pedro walked around and fired again. That bullet went through Jazz's hands and into his head. Pedro fled the scene with his crew. Jamil Sr. heard the gunshots from his living room. He ran outside and found his son dying in the street. He stayed by Jazz's side until paramedics arrived. Jazz was later pronounced dead. At first, rumors circulated online suggesting Jazz was affiliated with the Bloods based on some old MySpace photos. But LAPD investigations found no gang ties, no criminal history. Jazz's murder sparked national outrage. His story was compared to Ricky's in Boys in the Hood, a promising black youth gunned down by senseless gang violence. Pedro Espinosa from 18th Street was convicted and sentenced to death. On the evening of May 7th, 2009, members of 18th Street were having a party at Carlos's apartment, a known hangout called The Spot. Louisa, who was dating a member named Jimmy, had parked her black Jeep outside and passed out drunk inside the apartment. Daniel, another member who was on parole and wearing a state-issued GPS ankle monitor, took the keys from Luis's purse and convinced Carlos to ride with him. Daniel and Carlos headed west into Blood territory. At the intersection of 27th and Cimarron, Daniel ran a stop sign and nearly collided with another car. The driver, Thomas, an unaffiliated civilian, swerved to avoid impact. Daniel stepped out of the Jeep and opened fire. Thomas was hit once in the side and once in the chest. He later died from his wounds. His only mistake, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Daniel and Carlos weren't done. Minutes later, cousins Trey and Rashid, both civilians, were walking near 27th and Arlington. The black Jeep sped toward them at nearly 80 miles per hour, then suddenly slowed. Carlos leaned out and said, "Hey, what's up, Blood?" Before they could react, shots rang out. Trey was grazed in the backside. Rashid watched a bullet fly past his face. Daniel and Carlos were later convicted of first-degree murder and multiple counts of attempted murder. Daniel received 90 years to life. Carlos got 80. Near the corner of 27th and 7th Avenue, an area known as the Biddy, a man named Casey was shot in the head by 2 Latino gunmen. He survived. Just over a week later on Spalding Avenue in 18th Street territory, James and Mauricio stood outside Mauricio's house. James had driven from South Bay to pick up his car. Mauricio noticed a white BMW drive past, followed closely by a gray Infiniti. The Infiniti made a U-turn, circled back, and stopped. A man jumped out with a gun. Mauricio warned, "He's got a gun," and tried to pull James into cover, but James froze. 2 shots fired, then the gun jammed. After a pause, 8 more shots. James was hit multiple times and died at the hospital. Detectives later connected the shooter to Casey, the BPS member who had been shot the week before. The gunman, Michael from Black P. Stones, was convicted of second-degree murder and attempted murder. He was sentenced to 80 years to life. While the violence has slowed, the tension between Black P. Stones and 18th Street still simmers. Social media keeps the disrespect alive, and the threat of retaliation never fully fades. Baldwin Village and the West Side still feel it, just quieter, more calculated. That's the full breakdown. I would ask you to please like, comment, and
Yeah, that's a crazy, icky, Mickey, tricky, Vicky, sticky situation, man. But y'all know the deal is red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Free Avenue Angel till he's free. We are gone.
How many shots to the center of a freak, nigga? 3 in his ass, lick his stomach, smell his pink, nigga. They throwing shots, time to see if them pussy niggas can take it. The nigga whack is a snitch and the jolly niggas are rapists. See, Lush was on to something, tried to act like it was nothing. Said you ain't know that freaky ass taker you was frontin'. Munchie ain't fucking with you and Spider-Loc ain't gon' save you. If you wanted, you gon' take it. Stop the freaky ass behaviors. Let's get straight to the point, see, we ain't gotta wait for later. Nigga with your last name kidnapped that girl before he raped her. Said the moms of gang members don't deserve no piece of prayers. When General Butt naked, the kid Tesher is your savior. You ain't gotta stall me out, cause I ain't asking for no favors. Get it cracking right now, we ain't gotta wait for later. Walked into your own building, heard my voice and then you ducked away. Was humble like a bitch, cause you a hoe, stay in your fucking place. That nigga whack and slut and pathetic Flacco's a fucking lame. Whack ain't come outside because he hiding from his fucking gang. Talking like you tough when niggas spitting in your fucking face. T-Row didn't quit, we wouldn't even know your fucking name. Whack in front of Adam, but Adam is how he do you. See, Flacco lied on me and then Whack told me to sue you. Treated Whack like a bitch, you should've seen it, it was beautiful. Now every single week that nigga jolly on my pupil. Is it Fred or is it Frederick? Is it Dave or is it David? All thighs on me. Flock of belly, now you famous. Type of creep nigga is you. How are you and Dave related? Nigga, no means no. You should've told him not to take it. I'm really in the field, you niggas stuck inside the matrix. From BET to the Knicks, down in Compton where your face is. That nigga Weird Jolly got some freaky ass cases. Tryna fake fight Lush cause Adam wanted you to face. You wanna be like academics, making videos like point and shoot. You and Dave the same ass lane. We know the fucking truth. Brick ain't say this shit is a play, cause he don't fuck with you. He not gon' get involved when them real shooters come for you. If you grew up in the land, them thirsties, they would've humbled you. Grew up with them lions, I promise they would've hunted you. I get disrespectful, the next time I'ma punish you. You dirty fat bitch, I swear to God I see the bum in you. Niggas say they shooters till it's time to bring them guns out. Lose can't read and Whack lost his wife to Clubhouse. Treat Whack like a bitch, mark him out before he snitch again. Flocko, when I see you, I'ma show you the type of bitch you is. Niggas say they see me, they pullin' blick out. I promise that this Glock can make you sit down. Drum with a cooler, one for you, one for your brother. Wrap the string around the mop, sound like your dumbass when you stutter. Swear to God, nigga.
Hear me out though, right? Wait, bro, wait. Again, wait though. Just right, Joe, bro. Wait though, right? I do want to